Nation, I said we were going to do something different today, and it's not going to be an album review. In fact, the album reviews are going to come tomorrow, considering we have a widespread amount of releases that are dropping tomorrow, Tuesday the 18th or 19th, whatever day it happens to be here in May. They all blend together anymore. And what I mean by that, whenever I take a look just at what's in front of me, we have new albums from bands such as Weed Eater, Entrails, Cain's Offering, Cold Chamber, Brandon Flowers in the non-metal department, Valkyrie in the non-metal department, as well as 21 Pilots. Now, not all of these are going to be covered, I feel. That just might be just a little bit too much, but I'm going to try to get to as many of those as possible. So I thought today what we would do is look at some anticipated releases that we have coming from this point right now to the end of the summer months. So we're looking at May, June, July, and August. Now, this list, or the lists that I'm using, may not cover everything, so what I would like from you guys, aside from liking the video or disliking it if you dislike it, and obviously subscribing to the channel, is in the comments below, type out some of your most anticipated releases coming this summer. And we've talked about a couple of them already, and so if I repeat some of these, it's because I'm going off of a multitude of different lists here. But we just talked about new songs from Cradle of Filth, Lamb of God, and Bullet for My Valentine, all of which have albums that will be coming out within the next couple of months, between June and August. But let's take a look at some of the other ones. Whenever I take a look at heavy metal, there's a couple that sort of get my attention a little bit. And the first name that actually comes up is one that I don't have a lot of high expectation for, but I've never sampled, and I've had a couple of you ask me to review, and that's We Butter the Bread with Butter. A lot of you people say that this is ridiculous stuff, and I probably would hate it, so it might be fun to do just to see what this is all about. However, one of you in particular has been asking about the new Pyramace album, which I would like to cover, which comes out on the 22nd of this month, so that one is coming very, very soon. Excuse me. On the 25th, we have a new album from Leprous entitled The Congregation, which has been talked about now for the past couple of months. And as we move on forward, we have a new Mirath album entitled Until the End of Time. And as we continue forward, we have there's a live Tarj album that I probably will not cover, but there is a new Armored Saint, there is a Destructor album, and a new Halloween album that all come right at the end of May. And then we get into June, and we get into the new album, The Plague Within by Paradise Lost. We get into the potential of talking about new albums from Possession, which is an EP, 1585 to 1646. These are just ideas that are being thrown off, don't forget. And we continue forward, and we get to bands such as Conquest and Gorgoroth with Instrictus Bestialis, which comes out on the 8th of June. Disarmia Mundi comes out with Cold Inferno on the 9th of next month. There is a new Grip Incorporated EP that's coming out, and there is also, there's a Dragon Force DVD that if I covered DVDs it would matter, but Ducent, it comes out on 6/12/2015. The 12th of June happens to be my birthday, so that might be a cool little thing for me to review on my birthday, as well as a new album on the 15th from Shape of Despair, in case none of you guys have ever heard of them. Monotony Fields comes out on that day. Maybe we'll cover that in a future edition of 10 songs or 10 bands that you don't know. I really would like to get back into that, but really we've had quite a full docket as of late, and there's been just a lot of different things going on, but those are not canceled series. Those will be coming back sometime in the future. I Wrestled a Bear Once has an album entitled Hail Mary. That could be interesting to say the least. There's a new Propane album, a new Virgin Steel, a new Graveworm, Ascending Hate on the 19th of June. So there's just a lot of good stuff that's coming out. There's a new God is an Astronaut album. For those of you who don't know that band, definitely check them out. Dagobah has a new album entitled Tales of the Black Dawn coming out on the 22nd. And then, of course, we get to the big ones on the 23rd. We get to King Crow with Idios. We get, Idios. We have High on Fire coming out with their new album. And then, of course, we have coming later on in that month, To Die For. There's a name that I haven't heard in a long time. To Die For with their album Cult, and Thy Art Is Murder with Holy War, with August Burns Red finishing up July with Found in Faraway Places, or In Faraway Places, which we will aim to cover. There's a new Mass Mord album to start off July. Of course, Coma Ecliptic by Between the Buried and Me comes out on the 7th of the month. The Cradle of Filth album is on the 10th. which is what we do know about that. There's a new debauchery album entitled Fuck Humanity. That's actually one of the few albums that I got flagged for because I used some of their music. Whoops on me. We have Symphony X with Underworld, the great news that we just got today, coming out on the 24th of July. There's a new Joe Satriani album. Of course, the new Lamb of God disc will be coming out on the 24th as well, and then the new Cataclysm of Ghosts and Gods comes out on the 31st of July. Moving to August, it's a little bit more, we're not quite sure yet. There's still a lot to talk about. There's a new Kekel album, which I'm sure will make Andrew Bennett very happy. I seem to mention that name a lot. He's definitely a very close friend to the programming here, so that's pretty awesome. A lot of you guys want me to talk about more power metal, and Stratovarius has an album entitled Eternal coming out on the 14th of August, so that's a perfect time to do that. New Ghost comes out on the 21st of August. That's going to be a huge day. And a new Tad Morose album to finish off the month of what we know, at least. And then we have to talk about the non-metal stuff. We have to talk about the stuff that is something that's a little bit different, something that maybe we want to talk about just to sort of change things up a little bit. And whenever I look in June, the very first name that comes to mind is Florence and the Machine. However, that's kind of, we're not too sure if we're going to do that or not, but it could very well be interesting. Young Guns with Ones and Zeros actually opened up for Breaking Benjamin, who I just saw this past Wednesday, so I'm very interested in this, considering I did like what I heard from these guys. They are an alternative rock outfit out of Great Britain. Muse with Drones comes out on June the 8th. Would be a great birthday present, but I'm not clamoring. And then of Monsters and Men with Beneath the Skin. Their first album was a fantastic listen, so that is another one to consider. And then Mark Tremonti is going to be coming out with Cauterize on the 9th. That would be another one potentially to cover. We could have some fun and talk about the singles from Savage Garden, but I'll just do it right now. Ooh, I Want You, I Don't Know If I Need You, but ooh, I'm dying to find out. So we'll probably not talk about that, but kind of funny. Kind of funny. There is a new Neil Young album, the Montessaro Years, which could be very interesting, even though it's probably just a best of. A new Third Eye Blind with Dopamine on June the 16th. And Breaking Benjamin, speaking of them, there is their new album, Dark Before Dawn, which many of you have asked if I'm going to be covering. And the answer to that question is going to be yes. I'm going to be aiming to cover that album as well. And then we get into July. With July, we are moving down and we see Tame Impala with Currents. I have become a huge Tame Impala fan, so I'm very, very interested to see what happens there. And then I don't get anything else until August, and really there's nothing here that I see so far that is all of that interesting, though some of you may want me to check out the new Chelsea Wolfe album. So listen to all of that. I mean, so many albums for us to cover within the next couple of months. And then, of course, we have the Rush discography, which will be going on periodically as all of that goes on. We're going to get started with the Porcupine Tree discography. Slayer, of course, is something that we're going to talk about, and that will probably be a little further on down the line, probably closer to the release of their new album is whenever we'll do that discography. We'll kind of do it bam, 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 similar to what we have done with bands such as Dream Theater in the past. And then, of course, we have the traditional top 10, top 5, rant videos that will happen periodically as well. And if you guys have topics for that, definitely continue to send those. It's not that I will not do any of your suggestions. It's just the fact that the timing has to be right. That's certainly what it is. And then, of course, we have the 2 series with 10 songs or 10 bands that you may not remember or know, and Cover Killer Nation's favorite albums, which will be getting relaunched here hopefully very soon. And of course, if something happens, Cover Killer Nation Reacts will be happening. So there is no end of potential for this channel. There is no end. So just be prepared to click on and watch a lot of videos and learn a lot of new music that you may not know, or a lot of music that you do know but know what their new albums sound like. And definitely tell your friends, spread the word. As that occurs, more and more comes to my attention, which means more and more can be done for this channel. And there may even be some ideas that come forward in the future that will actually build a bit of rapport between you and I, where your suggestions become reality and there be a guarantee on that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, if there's any other releases that are coming this summer that you believe should catch my attention, certainly post them in the comments below or over on the Facebook page. The link to the Facebook page is in the description box below. I encourage each and every one of you watching this video to join the Facebook page and join the community as it is expanding rapidly. And I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I will talk to you guys later. We'll get into some album reviews starting tomorrow, probably 2 or 3 of them, so be prepared. Thanks.